Blessings, sacred sovereign soul. I am Lady Drasmin, and this is Dragom Oracle. I went live on TikTok earlier this week, and none of it recorded. And it was my last live on TikTok. I have been feeling this coming for a while, and I have received very clear guidance now that it's time for me to shift away from TikTok and focus here on YouTube. And I'm also continuing to share pretty much what I'm sharing here, minus the videos, of course, and to my Facebook platform. So I invite you to follow me here on YouTube or on Facebook or both, and turn on your notifications to stay current and updated with events, announcements, offerings, giveaways, member special giveaways for members, and other specials that I've got cooking up behind the scenes. So, welcome. Let's drop in with 3 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Couple more of those. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Mm. Mm. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. So, the live that I originally went live for that did not record was talking about Chiron going into retrograde. Why is this such a big deal? Who the fuck is Chiron? Why do we care? All right, so Chiron, if you all don't have your astrology charts, I would highly recommend that you do so. So your astrology, okay, is a screenshot of the sky right above you when you're born. And so it collects data and information from cosmic alignments, from planetary alignments, from numerological influences, and creates this structure, this pattern, this framework through which we can gather deeper understanding into the inner world. Because there is no textbook for how to navigate all the things that comes up internally. We receive guidance and teachings into how to care for our physical body, how to care for the mental body, how to care for the emotional body, how to care for our spiritual body, for those of us on the path, how to care for our creative body. And yet, a lot of this information is scattered in so many different places and vastly incomplete and sometimes quite inaccurate. And so part of this online space that I launched in July, and we begin our next cycle next week. This is an off week. I'm still doing the Tarot Tuesday, not Tuesday anymore. I'm still doing this Tarot Tuesday offering live on TikTok, now pre-recorded, to announce that I'm no longer sharing on the TikTok platform and to talk about this energy because it's really, really, really important. Okay. So I have this online space where we come in and we focus on mind, heart, body, energy, 4 weeks a month, 4 days a week. And it's a 3-tier level membership offering. So you get um, the options from $4.99 to $44.99 a month for financial flexibility to thriving commitment. And it's a space where you can come and receive teachings and wisdoms on Wednesday. On Tuesday, I pull cards. I talk about the astrological influences that are most relevant in this current now. And for those of you who attend live, there's a chance for personal readings. On Thursday, we meet and we talk about our goals. We talk about what worked, what hasn't worked. We talk about breakthroughs. We talk about the teachings from Tuesday and Wednesday, and really just digest the material together. And then Friday is a very low-key integration space where you come in and you just receive support, you just hang out in solidarity with other light-minded beings. And my hope is that you feel and trust that this is a space that I am holding currently online, in due course, in person again, where you are seen, you are empowered, you are called out on your BS, because this is an accountability space as well. Yet more importantly, you are committed to showing up for yourself in the witness of another, of several others, however many people join this circle. And right now I'm offering this on YouTube for my ease, and perhaps, as all things do, that will transform in due course. So our new cycle starts next week. So this week I want to talk about Chiron in retrograde. So astrology is a screenshot of all of these influences, and teachers through the ages have found parallels between screenshots, and so developed the astrological wheel, which there's 13 signs, not 12 yet. That will come later. We're just working with what we got in the now, right? We're breaking through where we are in the now, because being here in the now is all we've got. The past is done. It doesn't exist except in our memories and what we choose to continue engaging with. Our future is made of the choices and decisions that are based on the now and subject to change, because we can only control ourselves. So in this here now, what is aligning in the cosmic wisdoms is Chiron retrograde in Aries. So let's talk about what is Chiron first. Okay, you can look up your astrology chart if you don't have it. AstroDient is a good one. Astromatrix is an app that I use, and I really love it for what it has, and it's doing its best. Chiron is often known as the wounded healer. So your first thought might go into, oh, well, Chiron's the wounded healer, so this retrograde is all about healing. Wrong and no. I'll explain in a moment. Coming back to Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, so it is the sensitive spot that we are always going to be sensitive to. Okay? It's like an open wound. It's like a visible handicap, so to speak. But it's not a handicap if you learn how to work with what is present and available in the now. And should I talk about my experience? No, okay, not right now. The Chiron wound, when it hasn't been integrated, when you don't accept that, okay, this is just always going to be a tender spot for me. This is the area in my life where I'm going to need consistent, regular reassurance. This is the area in my life where I will find myself triggered very often. I will find myself experiencing anxiety, panic, stress, overthinking, inner paralysis. You know, when the Chiron hasn't been looked at and embraced, that's how it shows up. It shows up as disassociation, dysfunction, disconnect. So Chiron is a mirror to the gentlest medicine that lives within you, because that tender place is where we feel the most deeply. Now, the medicine to actually heal that trigger, heal the trigger, is your Lilith placement. So Lilith is the medicine to the Chiron, and Chiron is the medicine to your soul sovereignty. Do you understand? Am I making sense? Okay. So this space is all about sensual sovereignty. I finally, over the last few days, have come out as a priestess who practices the sensual sovereign path. And I'll be diving more into this in the days ahead. I have a book that I co-authored in called Sensual Symphony. I haven't yet done a launch for it because life has just been for over a year and a half now. Hello. Hello. So Chiron retrograde in Aries. It's putting the brakes. Retrograde brings everything to a slow down, to a now we're looking internally. And Chiron in Aries is asking you to look at your identity. It is asking you to look at reclaiming, realigning with your innate sovereignty by looking at those identity core wounds and embracing them with passion. Now, this is a really intense energy, even more though, more so than it might usually be, because there's a couple other planets also retrograde and also retrograde in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the head coming out of the vagina when it's being born. It's the baby's coming when baby's coming, okay? It's the I'm gonna push through, I'm gonna drive through, I am the initiator, I have the fire, I have the willpower, I want to be born, I want to be alive, I want to be doing all these wonderful things. Like Aries energy is so sexy. It's passionate and bold and goes for what it wants, but it's mental. It's not grounded. So the shadow of the Aries uh is overworking, not tending to the heart space, not tending to any part of the body, because it's the head energy, it's the ram, it's the first. Okay, the astrology also has different parts of the body that it's connected to, and Aries is the head, Aries is the ram, it's the breakthrough, which is what we need in this collective right now. The other planets that are in Aries right now, in this like go-getter, in this fire, in this breakthrough, in this illumination, it's this like coming back to life energy, is the Aries energy. We have Chiron in there. We have Saturn also retrograde in there. Saturn is about our structures, our discipline, our commitments. Okay, it's about sowing what we have, reaping what we have sown. So when it's retrograded in Aries, it's calling for a reevaluation of all of that. What are you committed to? What is your daily routine like? Are you in self-leadership or giving power away or playing the victim? Are you in integrity, and where does integrity feel most alive for you? Okay. So that's that Saturn energy, right? It's showing you like, oh, you think you want to be at this point in life, but let me show you why you're not there and where you've been in Delulu, which perhaps to a point has helped you arrive at this point. But now your Delulu is real Delulu. Okay. It's not confidence anymore. It's actually a wall. Okay. You built the stepping stone of Delulu to step on, but now this is a wall, not allowing you to keep growing. So then now we have Neptune. Okay, Neptune is about the subconscious, what lives in the depths, our dreams, our imaginations. And when Neptune is retrograde in Aries, all those illusions fall away. Okay, all the illusions of who we think we are versus who we truly are reveal themselves. And we get an opportunity to differentiate soul dreams in action from ego fantasy. Right? So there are these three incredible alignments in the sky right now, supporting individual and collective evolution so that we can continue anchoring this new now Earth timeline of the union of the divine masculine and feminine within, and the co-creation with sovereign, like-minded beings externally and with all of life. Now, we have these three planets in retrograde, right? And in Aries. And we're also in Leo season right now. Leo is the second fire sign. Okay. Leo is more center of the body now. Okay. And Leo is about, Aries is about just breaking through, right? But Leo is like, now I want to be seen. See me, hear me roar. See the value that I bring, see the beauty that I am. Yes, okay, there's a shadow outside of all beings, of all astrology, of all things, because we live in the earth realm. We live on earth school where the law of duality applies. Ultimately, the law of one is all there is. And yet, in the earth school experience, we have to come into understanding, understanding, which is integrated wisdom, which is looking at your experiences and what you've learned along the way and the teachings you've received and discerning for yourself what is applicable to you and maturing into your own version of soul truth, not just regurgitating what everybody else says and whatever your teachings and wisdoms you've received, but truly applying them into your daily life, seeing how they evolve through the vessel of your temple. And then that's how you continue anchoring into your sovereignty, your soul truth, your God, goddess, I am presence. So Leo is that passion, right? It's now I really want to go out there. Okay. And then Sag, which is the third, it's like expansion to the beyond. Like now let's join our fiery forces together. We're not talking about Sagittarius energy because it's not, well, I could say it's not relevant, but let's stay focused. That's not true. So let's stay focused on this Aries energy coming in hot when it's already a fiery energy. Okay, we got triple fire in fire. Can we say fire? Fire! Can you drop a fire emoji if this is resonating with you? Drop me a fire and tell me that you're feeling this fire. How is this fire showing up for you? Okay, so we've got all these planetary alignments. Thank you. Thank you, universe, for supporting our highest timeline, for supporting our evolution. I mean, life is always ever working in its favor, and you are life. So life is ever working in your favor, beloved one. And so all of this energy, this Chiron energy, is bringing in this new era where you go from being the wounded warrior to the empowered wise one. Okay, because of Chiron and all the other alignments, it's like it's not possible to just talk about Chiron because it's all working together. Okay, yet I'm focusing on Chiron because I'm highlighting you to look at the areas where you feel the most insecure, the most triggered, the most defensive, the most fill in the blank that makes you want to freeze, fight, flight, dissociate, disconnect, overwork, not being balanced, not talking to the people that love you, not connecting with anyone. Now is not a time to sprint. Now is not a time to heal. Now, this healing, you can only heal so much, beloved one. Okay. You get to a point where you keep digging. Now you're causing injury. You can't keep digging and expect to find treasure in there. No, eventually you're going to create sores. So this is why some people think the healing work is never done because they haven't integrated their Chiron. And so the collective transmission is this is not a time to sprint. Right now is you're being asked to look at the root of your identity and see how Chiron applies in there. Okay, this is where I'll share my Chiron. My Chiron, for example, sits in Cancer. Okay, so my deepest wound, my most sensitive area, And I'm able to share this now because whatever comes at me for it cannot hurt me because I have integrated my Chiron and I have learned what it means to have a Chiron in Cancer through my life experience. Okay. So my wound is never feeling like I belong anywhere, not having a sense of home, a crab without a shell. Okay, Chiron in Cancer is a crab without a shell. Have you ever seen that shit? No, because they don't exist. The fucking crab will die without its shell. It will change shells, but it's always looking for a shell because that's that energy of always wanting home and community and connection and knowing that I matter in the heart space in the human experience. And the fact that I'm an orphan in this world really triggers the fuck out of my Chiron in Cancer. What I have been going through over the last few weeks with this current space that I'm in, today's my last day here, has been really bringing that up to the surface, right? But what it's asking me to do, it's asking me to write a different story. Am I going to continue saying, "Oh, I don't belong anywhere. I'm not supported. I can't ask for help because nobody gives a fuck." Okay, maybe that's true. But how would I know if I didn't ask? And in fact, as a woman, and some of you might know, I lead Women's Temple. One of the credos in the Manifesto is um, I ask for help when I need it, and I allow myself to receive it. And that's been playing on a loop in my head the last few days. And what the other, and so I share about my Chiron in Cancer in that solidarity and witness of like we all have trigger areas that are, even after we've recognized them and we learn the tools of how to communicate our needs and desires for those core tender areas, which I am continuing to grow and evolve. Let me tell you all what, okay? This is why it's called the Earth School, okay? Then we get to look at, okay, now that I've identified that this is just part of my blueprint, I am not attached to the story of being an orphan. I may have been orphaned from my family, but I'm not orphaned from my beloved human experience community. And I continue to be delighted and surprised by people that come into my life and show me ways to communicate my needs and my boundaries. So you're being asked to look at what identity wounds now are ripe for completion. Stop attaching yourself to the story of who you were. I could sit here and talk all day about my hands and how much they hurt me and how I can't get anything done and boo-hoo, poor me. And sometimes I do need to give myself a pity party because, hello, I'm in the human experience. Yet, alternatively, I can ask for help. Hey, can you work on my hands for 5 minutes? Hey, I'm having a really hard day with my hands. Can I get a little extra support with XYZ around the house? Right? Hey, my hands are in a little bit of pain right now. I'm not able to be present for this conversation. Right? Just learning how to communicate, right, is part of the journey to integrating your core wounds. And some of those will heal and grow scab and then grow new skin, and they won't be a tender spot anymore. And sometimes they'll continue staying a tender spot. Will this always be a tender spot for me? Change is the only constant. Has it been a tender spot for me my whole life? Yeah. Yeah, it has. Okay. So what was I gonna say? Um, so if you feel like there is a story about you that you are now ready to let go of in sacred witness, I invite you to share in the comments below. And as you surrender these stories, you'll come face to face with more feelings And then you'll start to realize that there is a lot of ancestral energy that's pouring through you. And a lot of what you're feeling isn't even yours. So allow yourself to just witness where you are playing out ancestral patterns. Surrender those, okay? That energy of um, Neptune in Aries, it's bringing up all the stuff from the subconscious. The Saturn, the karma, it's bringing up all the ancestral stuff. It's bringing up all the past life stuff, right? So can you just allow yourself to witness it, allow it, acknowledge it, and then let it dissolve? Not to become it. And if that looks like you just stepping back for a day or two, okay. Please communicate with the people in your life. Ghosting is just rude, okay? Childish, immature. Don't ghost the people that love you. Okay, please. Let's end that cycle of expecting other people to just be okay when we disappear. It's really not okay. It's part of what has created this collective wound of not belonging. Okay, what I feel, I'm not the only one who has a Chiron in Cancer. There's a collective wound, and so there's a collective energy of not belonging. Okay, so the more we heal and empower ourselves to see like, oh, a lot of this isn't even mine, it's just stuff that needs to be cleared out, then you really start to peel the layers and come back into who you are. And then you can make a commitment for that piece of you which feels ready for a realignment. And then you can look at what are your dreams in action, true dreams in action, not delusion and fantasy. And how can you continue? Are they aligned with your soul essence, or are they based on obligation, based on fear programming, based on scarcity, based on lack? We are, do you see the world around you? There is a lot of resources out here. And the more you think of like, the more you stay in the mindset of the struggle and the hardship, you are continuing to perpetuate the wounding. Like it is so, and I don't say this lightly, okay? It is so black and white right now. Either you are working on a solution or you're feeding the problem. You cannot do both. You cannot grow seeds in soil that is being replenished for new life. Your soil is ready for the new life that you have been calling in. Hello, Aries energy, new life, new beginnings, sunshine, fire, spark of life, heat, reproduction. Okay? So please, the invitation is to pause, soul check, and re-anchor. Pause, soul check, and re-anchor. Just take that. Pause, soul check, re-anchor. What you're drinking every day, what you're eating every day, what you're wearing every day, where your thoughts are every day. We are about to enter this Lionsgate portal here in 8 days from where I'm recording this. If you've been doing the soul work, you are about to be rewarded. Okay? Some of you have been doing the soul work for years. I'm on year 13, continuing to go forward. I have been clearing and decluttering my ancestral stuff, and there's a couple of things left. There's a couple of things that need completion. So right now we're being given that space because once Chiron goes direct, which isn't until next year, okay, then we really start to thrive in our new founded identity. Okay, but over the next few months, we got to continue decluttering. We got to continue refining and tending to the relationships in our life that are consistent and steadfast and present, and removing all the diluted breadcrumbing non-reciprocal relationships, because all it's doing, it's again keeping you in imbalance. The more you engage with dysfunction externally, the more you are perpetuating that dysfunction within, the disconnect within. Okay? You're like, I have all these beautiful ideas, Lady Drasmin. Why am I struggling? Okay? There's this distortion in the spiritual community that we have to play out these old wounds in order to be enlightened. No, no, you don't. You do not have to play out the old stories to be awokened. Okay, the ascended masters aren't sitting there talking about all their trials and tribulations. They've already shared the story. Right now, they're busy rebuilding the new now earth with the beings who are working with them. And so, like, we are shifting collectively into a timeline where we're no longer in that Piscean era of deep inner diving soul work, shadow work. Now, all the stuff is coming up to the surface, all the gas, all the waste, all the denial, all the delusion. It's all coming up to the surface. It's all going to be coming up for the surface over the next few months into the next year. Okay. So, the quicker or rather, the more disciplined you are with making time every day to look at what you are doing and why, pause, soul check, re-anchor, the quicker you're going to shift into alignment of mind, heart, body, energy, and you will not be affected by the storm around you because you become the eye of a storm that you're just happen to be in. And the entire world is going through storms, okay? So if you think like, oh, I'm not going to be affected by this because I live, XYZ, or I'm just going to go off to the mountains for a few days, let me tell you that disassociation is going to catch up to you. And it's going to hurt. It's going to fucking sting, okay? So Chiron in Aries in conjunction with the Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Leo season, and also Mercury retrograde is in Aries, so really a time to like do journaling and reflecting and drawing and just getting it all out first before dumping on someone else who might also be having their experience. So it's a time right now to remember that you are God, goddess, and yet you cannot tap into that power until you embrace your humanity. So I will close this with an empowerment practice that I shared or later this week. And it's look at yourself in a mirror, place one hand on heart and the other on your lower belly, and inhale slowly. Count of 5, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Okay, so we're going to do that 3 times. Begin the first one now. And exhale for 6. Second, inhale for a count of 5. Hold for 4. And exhale at 6. Last one. And now affirm after this exhale, I honor who I have been. I welcome who I am becoming. Do this in front of a mirror when you wake up, anytime through the day, as you pause, soul check, and re-anchor. I honor who I've been. I welcome who I'm becoming. I honor who I've been. I welcome who I've been becoming. I honor who I've been. I welcome who I'm becoming. Any tarot? Queen of Wands going into the King of Wands. You are discovering your place within yourself. And as you anchor into that empowered trust in your I am presence, you become the change that the world needs. And you don't have to do anything extra other than continue nurturing, tending, and embodying your highest truth, which is love, which is loving all that you are, exactly as you are in the moment, which is having compassion and grace for yourself, which is using your words to communicate clearly and calmly, which is accountability that includes apology and repair, which is choosing faith over fear. So the decision is yours. Ultimately, you have free will. You can choose to step into a new timeline, write a new story for your life, go beyond fear, or these cycles will repeat for many, many years. And I don't say that as a way to be threatening or scary. It's just simply me translating the cosmic wisdoms and their messages that are coming through in the pattern of time. Again, time is a construct of the Earth School experience to give us the teachings that we signed up for before we came into the Earth plane. You are ready. You are ready for your next level up. You are ready for your soul upgrade. You are ready for your promotion. You are ready for this next phase of your life. And it's okay if you don't know what that looks like. It would be a little strange if you knew what that looks like because you haven't experienced it yet. You are a human being here to be, here to experience life. And it is asking you to step up and be an active co-creator and participant in your own life. So, are you going to turn the wheels in your favor? Let me know. Hmm. This is the transmission that I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new, thank you for joining me today and sticking through till the end. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so grateful for this online community that is growing. I've noticed some new subscribers this week. So thank you for sharing the word. And thank you everyone for your likes, your comments, your subscribes. It really helps support this channel grow because I am working with this algorithm thing that my brain just does not compute because I'm elsewhere. Um, and thank you everyone for your donations. I really deeply receive and appreciate the surprises that I wake up to. And I actually, this past week and a half, something that I am integrating into this new timeline that I'm going into is I have a little bell and it's my money bell. And every time I make money or I find money, ding, 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 I ring this bell. And the day that I decided to set that intention and consecrate this bell, I've got bells all over the house. The day that I set this intention, a few hours later, I went to the supermarket and there was a $20 bill just sitting on the ground. And I energetically rang the bell, you know? So this, I don't know why I just felt called to share that example, but perhaps, there's some more fun and lightness and play that can be brought into your daily life. And that might inspire you or confirm something for you. So let's close with 3 deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Thank you again for being here. Until we meet again, take care of your beautiful selves, nourish, hydrate, breathe, breathe even deeper. Be gentle with yourselves and remember, you are love, here to love and to be loved. Bye for now.